This is another of the Easter monologues. It's called I Was There. It's a first-hand account. I was there, I tell you. I saw the whole thing. I saw when they whipped him so hard they tore his flesh, whipped him so hard that he could not stand. I was there, I tell you. I saw the whole thing. I saw when they forced the crown of thorns on his head, thorns so long, forced it so hard they pierced his brain, watched as he bled, watched as the blood rolled down his tear-stained cheek. I was there, I tell you. I saw the whole thing. I saw when they made him pick up his cross, heavy beams of wood crudely fashioned and mercilessly thrown on his shoulder, his torn, bloody shoulder. The hot midday sun burning down as he dragged his broken body through the streets, heading up the hill. And I wondered why, and I wondered how it had come to this that I was watching, helplessly watching, standing by as they jeered him, spat at him, mocked him, stripped him of his dignity. And I shouted to save yourself. I shouted with a voice choked with fear. You see, I was there, I tell you. I saw the whole thing. And I wanted to scream and I wanted to shout, let him go. But the crowd was thick and their anger boiled, so I simply stood by. I watched as they nailed him, pounded nails as long as my arms into his palms and through his blistered, blood-soaked feet. The tears welled up in my eyes and I wanted to scream and I wanted to shout, let him go. But instead, I watched quietly, sobbing to myself. You know, I was there. I saw the whole thing. I saw the whole thing, I tell you. I saw the whole gruesome, horrifying thing. They pierced his side and I watched. And as I watched, I was sure I saw water streaming from his side. Oh yes, there was blood and still more blood. But there was water mingled with the blood pouring from his side. And I thought to myself, who is this man? And his blood fell on my feet, warm on my feet. I was there, I tell you. He cried out with a loud voice and the earth shook violently. And now I was no longer watching. And now I no longer wondered. And now I knew he was the Son of God. You see, I was there. I saw the whole thing. And I waited. Yes, I waited until they took his beaten, lifeless body from the cross. I followed from a distance, too frightened to step closer. I watched as his friends wrapped his head into his bloody body into white linen, and they laid him in the tomb, deep inside the dark tomb, and they left him there to rot. And though his enemies were sure he was dead as any man could be, they feared. They sealed the tomb with a stone so large it took several to roll it across the mouth of the tomb. And I wondered why. I wondered what more could you expect of a man who was now dead and laying behind this very stone. Big men cowering in fear for a man who was dead. And I fell asleep. Right there, next to the very stone I lay, uncertain of why or how, but I was there, I tell you. I saw the whole thing. And there I stayed, like a sentinel keeping watch, asleep yet awake. I watched as the guards changed watch over watch, hour over hour, until they too fell asleep. And I wanted to scream and I wanted to shout, go away and leave him alone. He's dead, I tell you. Just let him rest in peace. But instead, I kept quiet as I rested outside the tomb. And then there was a roaring, a mighty wind like a tempest on high seas, a deafening sound as thunder shook the earth, and a bright light came down from above. And the guards, they ran in fear. Big men ran in fear as the angel of the Lord rolled the stone away. And then I screamed, and then I shouted, hallelujah, he is risen, hallelujah, he is risen, I say. You see, I was there. I saw the whole thing.